Good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Tonight is the Euclid Township Board of Supervisors meeting for the month of January. Just before we begin, I want to let everyone know that tonight's meeting is being recorded as well as broadcast on the township's YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and ask you to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States and to the republic which stands for indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A couple housekeeping items before we begin our meeting tonight. I want to draw your attention to resolution number 2023-08, which is posted at the back of the room and possibly on the back of tonight's agenda, relating to the guidelines for public participation in public meetings. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to highlight a few issues or a few parts. Residents and or taxpayers of the township who wish to address the board during the public comment period at the end of the public meeting should sign their names to a sign-in sheet, which is provided by the township at the back of the room. Speakers must identify themselves by name and street name. A business or an organization is encouraged to designate one person to present comments on its behalf. The speaker must direct all comments to the Board of Supervisors and not to staff. Each speaker recognized by the board chair will be given 3 minutes to comment during the public comment period. No official board action will be taken on items presented during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. Items may be referred to township staff and or the appropriate working group or committee for further research and discussion. Matters addressed publicly to the board will be taken under advisement, and either the board will respond to the person raising the issue directly at a later date, or the board will respond to the items during a future public meeting as an agenda item. The board need not engage in discussion on comments offered. Speakers should limit repetitious comments and, when appropriate, acknowledge agreement with the previous speaker's comment or position. While the public has the right to make critical remarks, the public does not have the right to disrupt a meeting. In cases of serious disruption, the board will adjourn the meeting or take other such action to resolve the disruption as appropriate under the circumstances. All right, with that, we'll move forward to approve the minutes of the December 8th, 2025 meeting, the January 5th reorganization meeting, and the workshop meeting of January 8th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any board questions or comments?
No.
No.
Any public comment? That I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I also want to announce that the board met in executive session on December 8th to discuss a legal matter and on January 12th to discuss a personnel issue. With that, we'll move into the reports for this evening, starting with the police chief.
Thank you and good evening. For the month of December 2025, the Euclid Township Police Department officers documented 871 entries in the police department call reporting system. During the reporting period, the officers issued 38 traffic citations. They investigated 37 motor vehicle crashes and they arrested 5 individuals. Additionally, for the month of December, the department members conducted 4 motor carrier details at the weigh station, resulting in 736 commercial motor vehicles being weighed, one of which was found to be overweight. The officers also carried out 47 inspections requiring 8 vehicles and 3 drivers to be placed out of service. During the detail, the officers were assisted by members of the Pennsylvania State Police. During their normal work days, Officer Matthew Lanchi and Officer Scott Luddy performed a total of 3 commercial motor vehicle inspections. Officer Stephen Scott also assisted members of the Upper Euclid Township Police Department with a suspected overweight vehicle, which resulted in the driver and vehicle being placed out of service. Year to date, for 2025, the officers documented 12,590 entries in our call reporting system. They arrested 187 individuals. They wrote 1,276 motor vehicle traffic citations, 445 written warnings. They investigated 352 motor vehicle crashes, and they put 8,948 commercial motor vehicles over our scales. Also, I wanted to mention that for the month of December, we had no Narcan administrations.
Great, thank you. Treasurer's report.
In the general fund, we've collected almost 91% of our budgeted revenues and spent about 92% of our budgeted expenditures. There are still year-end allocations which need to be made. For example, the sewer fund owes the general fund. So we'll be close in terms of our true year-end numbers, and we'll see how that shakes out.
Thank you. Public Works.
For the December of 2025, the road department repaired sinkholes on Timber Springs Drive and Canner Drive, replaced 2 inlet grates on Phillips Drive, cleared trees on Dowland Forge Road, Bousman Road, Balderston Drive, Longwood Drive, Woodford Hills Road, Spring Run Lane, and Route 113. They serviced all the generators for the traffic lights, performed vehicle maintenance and equipment maintenance, salted and plowed roads for 4 winter weather events. It was one of our busier Decembers on the books. To date, we've used 713 tons of salt to treat the roadways and installed temporary mailboxes that broke due to snow removal activities. For the sewer department, for the month of December, the daily average flow to the Darrah treatment facility was 1.25 million gallons per day. We recorded 1.46 inches of rain for the month. Normal rainfall is 3.2 inches. Our current year-to-date rainfall total is 30 inches, giving the township a rainfall deficit of 15.9 inches for the year. We responded to 105 notifications from the PA one call system, and the staff continue to clean, televise, and repair the storm pipes, sewer sanitary mains, and manhole inspections in preparation for the 2026 paving project. They cleaned and televised 1,026 feet of storm pipe and no sewer pipe. The staff salted and plowed in the 4 snow events. For Parks Department, they performed the weekly parks checks, assisted the road department with clearing snow from the streets, repaired damaged plows from snow events, installed thermoplastic around manholes to prevent plow damage, replaced underground downspouts at the Cadwallader House, repaired the fence at Chimona Main Park, blew off the walking trails from snow and leaves, leaf removal at Eagle View baseball fields and pickleball courts, and they trimmed and caulked the garage doors at the road department lower garage. And I am very happy to say that while this is for January, the Eagle View wastewater treatment plant is back online. Fully. Yes.
Thank you. Fire Marshal.
Yes, the building department had 60 permits for construction issued last month. 140 inspections were conducted, 16 fire inspections, 31 use and occupancy certificates were issued, and the fire marshal responded to 24 incidents and had 1 fire investigation during the month.
And Lionville Fire Company.
The Lionville Fire Company responded to 74 incidents during the month of December. Breakdown is 35 in Euclid, 10 in Upper Euclid, 12 in West Pikeland, 17 in other municipalities. In 2025, the Lionville Fire Company responded to 756 incidents, the highest annual call volume in the company's history. This reflects a 44% increase in call volume over the past 6 years. Responses for 2025 by municipality: Euclid 443, Upper Euclid 109, West Pikeland 66, and other municipalities 138.
Thank you. Is there anyone here from Euclid Ambulance tonight? Okay, with that, is there a motion to accept the reports?
I move to accept the reports.
Second?
Any board questions or comments?
No.
I just had one question. I know that we've had a couple people reach out regarding the status of the Whitford Road work by PennDOT. Would you be able to share any updates on the timeline for that project?
Yeah, so my understanding is that they're done the pipe repair. PennDOT, the contractor was ready to start roadway restoration. However, PennDOT, Whitford Road being a state road, PennDOT controls this. PennDOT stopped them and is not allowing them to continue with any restoration projects, any roadway restoration until the springtime, warmer weather. I do know that they were taking advantage, I believe last week, of some of the warmer weather to do some trench repair restoration work off the roads, which caused some intermittent closures there. But I think they will be fully done come springtime.
Fingers crossed. Can we just follow up with them and make sure that they are keeping the signage up to date with the status of the work? Because the closure lights flash off, like they don't turn them off, or the signs are down in the street and it's closed. I know it's just caused a lot of confusion for the local traffic heading through there. All right, that's all I got. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, moving along to the business part of this evening's agenda. And first we have recognition of Chief Alexander and Lieutenant Evans retirements, which I'm guessing is why we have a full house tonight. I want to welcome everybody. Not used to having to like look across the entire room, so I'm not ignoring you guys. A bittersweet evening for us for sure. You know, my entire time here on the board have been serving under the same police chief and Lieutenant Evans. Unfortunately for us and fortunately for them, they have announced their retirement and will be moving on to nicer things and better schedules and more free time, I hope. But we wanted to for sure take an evening tonight with the community to acknowledge their contributions over the last 26 years for Euclid Township. Both Chief Alexander and Lieutenant Evans started on the same day and will be going out together on the same day.
Wow.
So I didn't prepare any specific formal remarks, but certainly could not let this evening pass without just sharing to the community how much I have appreciated their leadership and how much their relationship with the board has really benefited the township in the way that it's open, it's often, and we have always, you know, I can't speak for all of us, but I have always been able to go to either of them with any concerns or any questions, whether it's something specific to the township, whether it's something about law enforcement in general, whether it's the evolution of law enforcement and how it has changed, certainly over the last 26 years. I'm sure you would agree there's been a few changes in our world with law enforcement. Something that the community might not know is that every time there is a major incident within the township or, you know, a severe incident, the chief has the luxurious job of not only handling the incident, but reaching out individually to each board member to keep us apprised of the situation and give us updates. And so my only ask in your retirement is that at least one time you call me with something happy. Some good news, just to say, hey, I hope you're having a good day. But jokes aside, we've had plenty of great conversations and good phone calls, and I hope that you go forward into your retirements and don't be too much of a stranger, but enjoy yourselves on the other sides. Prepare your families. You're going to be around a lot more. They need to know. They need to prepare themselves. And congratulations to your families as well, because I know how much of a lifestyle it is when someone in the family is a police officer and you're raising families and trying to do holidays and all that. So certainly appreciate your families and all of your service. I don't know if any other board members want to share any comments.
No, yeah, I would just like to say, you know, like Laura, my entire time has been dealing with you two as the leadership of our police department, which has always, you know, I quickly realized that I could be comfortable with that. That was, you know, I didn't know anything about anything going in, so everything I learned was from you about policing, and what I did learn is even no matter what the situation was, whether it was a criminal activity, was some kind of tragedy, whether it was just like scheduling conflicts or all this, I could always count on the two of you were looking out for the best for the department and the best for this community. And no matter what ideas we were trying to work on, I could always had comfort in knowing that that was your primary goals. I had confidence that that's where your focus was. And I don't, that always gave me the confidence to just trust that, we'll get through it, and as the best possible. And sometimes in tragic situations, you don't have the best possible, but I knew it was being handled correctly. So I want to thank you both.
So we have, oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't know if I should say something, but you're leaving as I'm coming in. But I do want to just acknowledge your service. I know how difficult it can be to be a police officer, a public servant, particularly for 26 years. So thank you so much for your service. And like Laura said, please don't be a stranger. I'd like to get to know you as people since I don't have the pleasure of serving with you, but thank you. Thank you.
So as much as you don't like to be acknowledged, of course, we have a couple service awards that we would like to present this evening. Unfortunately, Representative Otten's office was not able to make it tonight, but we do have accommodations or citations that we would like to present to both of you. So you don't get Representative Otten, you'll just have to listen to me talk a little bit longer this evening, but I would like to read both of them and then maybe we can have you come up and, okay. All right. The House of Representatives citation. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who selflessly devote their lives to ensuring the safety of the residents of their communities and ultimately of all the people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Chief Scott G. Alexander is being honored upon his retirement from the Euclid Township Police Department, concluding a career in law enforcement spanning 33 years, and whereas a past chief of the East Brandywine Township Police Department, Chief Alexander was hired by the Euclid Township Police Department in August 2000. He rose through the ranks to serve as patrol officer, sergeant, and lieutenant, and he was named chief in 2017. Under his leadership, the department maintained high community policing standards and emergency readiness and made strategic investments in personnel, training, equipment, and technology. Chief Alexander faithfully displayed great loyalty, commitment, and professionalism in the performance of his duties as a member of the Euclid Township Police Department. He served with consummate skill, upheld the laws of the Commonwealth, and served as a role model for all those who aspire to a career in law enforcement. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays a respectful tribute to Chief Scott G. Alexander upon his richly deserved retirement, notes with pride and gratitude his record of service, which far exceed those standards normally ascribed as exemplary, and offers best wishes for every future success and happiness. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who selflessly devote their lives to ensuring the safety of the residents of their communities and ultimately of all the people of this great Commonwealth. And whereas Lieutenant Maureen P. Evans is being honored upon her retirement after more than 25 years of dedicated and distinguished service to the Euclid Township Police Department. Whereas Lieutenant Evans began her career with the Euclid Township Police Department in August 2000 as a patrol officer and was later promoted to sergeant. Lauded as the highest ranking woman in department history, she was elevated to the rank of lieutenant in 2018. She further served the department by operating the 12-week Citizens Police Academy annually since 2017. Lieutenant Evans faithfully displayed great loyalty, commitment, and professionalism in the performance of her duties as a member of the Euclid Township Police Department. She served with consummate skill, upheld the laws of the Commonwealth, and served as a role model for all those who aspire to a career in law enforcement. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays a respectful tribute to Lieutenant Maureen P. Evans upon her richly deserved retirement, notes with pride and gratitude her record of service, which far exceeds those standards normally ascribed as exemplary, and offers best wishes for every future success and happiness. Did you want to share a few words? Get some pictures and all that? Yeah, absolutely.
I have to shorten it or
fun, healthy. Thank you. Bring it up just a bit. Okay. All right. Okay. Is this thing on? Okay. Yes. Okay. Good evening, and thank you for recognizing my service. It's hard to believe that I'll be retiring in about 2 weeks. It definitely does create some mixed feelings, one of relief that I made it, and also a feeling of uncertainty and having to get used to a new routine. As some of the officers can attest, I am all about my routine. Detective Aldifer can tell you all about that. I would like to thank the Yukon Township Board of Supervisors and Township Manager. You've been a pleasure to work with, and I can't thank you enough for the support you have given to Chief Alexander and I and the entire police department. I've always considered myself to be extremely lucky to have been employed by the township and to have worked with such a great group of people township-wide, some of whom have been here as long as I have been. You're all wonderful people, so thank you. I want to thank Chief Scott Alexander. How do you appropriately thank and convey your appreciation to the person who gave you the opportunity of your career? You gave me a seat at the table when no one else would. You saw value in my work. How do you thank the person who essentially risked their own career to give me a chance at forwarding mine? The leadership of a police department is a collaborative effort wherein both parties must always be on the same page and work together as a team. I've always found that to be easy to do because of Chief Alexander's leadership and the person that he is. So to give you a little bit of perspective about our personalities, Chief Alexander is a person who reads the manual front to back, follows what he's supposed to be doing, and I'm the one that's with the mouse like, oh my gosh, why is this not working, and clicking and all worked up. So daily he would come into my office and he would say, you know, just calm down, and words were slower is actually faster. So, and he was right. Chief, I know you never look for or want any sort of recognition, but you are so deserving of it. And since they let me speak, I would like to give you the recognition you have earned and so very much deserve. You are the definition of a selfless leader, always prioritizing the needs of the mission of the police department over any personal gain. You have always fostered growth, trust, and shared success by serving, empowering, and giving credit to others. For the past 10 years, you have literally dedicated your entire life to the Yukon Township Police Department and the citizens within. Since 2016, you have led our police department through a number of challenges, never wavering and always solid in decision-making. You've set the gold standard for leadership. Your dedication and integrity are a true inspiration. You have set this police department up for continued success. The advancements you made are many: reopening the range, countless station improvements, ensuring that the officers have the best in equipment and uniforms, ensuring that the officers are properly trained and achieving their full potentials, truly wanting the best for everyone here. Of utmost importance, you created a fantastic working environment of fair treatment, team building, camaraderie, and a safe space for all of us to just be ourselves and better ourselves. Our department is more unified and cohesive than it has ever been because of your leadership. Serving and protecting the citizens of Yukon Township as your second in command has been one of my greatest honors of my life. And I will forever be grateful that you gave me the opportunity to do so. I wish you the best in this next chapter of your life. You have earned every minute of doing whatever you want to do. Thank you to your wife, Alyssa, and your son, Kyle, for letting us have your time for all these years. To my brother and sister officers of Yukon Township, both current and retired, I'm so proud to have worked alongside all of you. You are the best of the best. I learned something from each and every one of you, and I truly hope that I've helped you all in some way. The work I witness from this agency on a daily basis is nothing short of amazing, and thank you for everything that you do. Never stop being the best. Never give up on making the world a safer place, because you do make a difference. Please know that with every email I sent with my correction requests, there were 10 times more of me reading reports and saying literally out loud, wow, this was amazing work by our officers. I will pray daily for your safety. I will worry constantly about each of you. and I will miss working with all of you. To Jamie and Allie, our office administrators, thank you for everything you do for all of us. You are a pleasure to work with. You truly are the backbone of the daily operations. Jamie and I share a disdain for the morning. We need a minute to get started. And Allie and I share a love of show tunes and generally break into song at least once a day. I will miss all of our daily interactions and fun times. On a personal level, this is going to get worse. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I really am. I'm sorry. To my incredible children, Gabrielle, Rachel, and Brian, you are my greatest source of pride. You are pure perfection. You represent everything that is good in this world, and when I all too often have to see the bad. It's not easy being the child of a police officer, and I know this job took me away from you over the years because of long hours and hectic schedule. You never complained, and you never let any of life's obstacles or disappointments deter you from making good decisions. You make me proud every single day, and I'm so lucky that I'm your mom. I can now look forward to weekly shopping trips at Marshall's with my Gabrielle, and weekly dinner dates with my Rachel, and according to my daughters, my continued worshiping of the ground my son Brian walks on. I love you three very much. To my husband, my Tommy, thank you for all your love and support and for making my wishes come true. I love that we have the same job. He is a sergeant for West Whiteland Township Police, and we are able to understand one another better because of it. You are a loving husband to me and a loving son to your wonderful mother, who I adore. And most of all, you are a loving father to your children. Because of you, I have been blessed again with my amazing stepchildren, Jameson, Colin, and Molly, and now Ashley, it's Jameson's girlfriend there. They have brought joy, love, and so much laughter into my life, more than words can say. You kids are the definition of kindness. I can't wait for all adventures, and I love you and all my bonus family and the Ferronis and the Juntas. To my parents, James and Alan Doyle, my parents can't be here tonight, but they are watching from home. And the best way that I can describe my parents and what they've done for me is to say that I've said so many times, if every child had a mom and dad like James and Ellen Doyle, there would be no sad children in the world. My parents dedicated their entire lives to me and my sisters and to their grandchildren. I could not have achieved the success I have without them. They, along with my sister Trish, who was also a lieutenant with East Whiteland Police, helped raise my children and watch them every day while I was at work. My parents are a shining example of integrity, hard work, and loyalty. My parents gave me the greatest gift any child could ever wish for, a kind, loving home and the encouragement to do anything I wanted to do. I thank my sisters, Bernadette and Trish. I appreciate all your love and support. And I couldn't ask for two better parents as we care for our beautiful mother as she battles cancer and shows us what true courage means. Mommy, you are my hero and the bravest person I know. And I love you and Daddy so much. Thank you. I am blessed 360 with a circle of family and friends that are second to none, who have supported me in my career choices always. Those who couldn't be here tonight are watching at home, all my nieces, nephews, and cousins, as well as everyone's significant others. My niece Camille is here tonight and has been my little sidekick ever since she could walk. My other niece Maddie just had her first baby over the weekend, and thank you to Michael, Samuel, and Emily. Thank you to my cousin Annie, who is so special to me, as well as Mark, Sheila, Kira, Kenny, James, and Josh. I am so lucky to have my two best friends since the 4th grade. Stephanie and Chris are here tonight. Our friendship is 1 in a million, and these are two of the most loyal and beautiful ladies you could ever meet. They have always been so understanding and respectful of my job, and everyone should be so lucky to have a Steph and a Chris in their life. I love you both very much. And to the two best business partners ever, Joe and Stacy, I look forward to our next season at Rita's Water Ice. I love you, and I am your problem now. I could stand up here all night and talk about all of you great folks, all of you, every one of you. but I'm sure you want to move on with your lives. In short, I love everyone. I thank everyone. And I look forward to a new phase of life and sleeping past 7 a.m. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Okay,
Next.
so I have to say a couple of things first. I'm now realizing I should have asked the lieutenant to proofread her document because we agreed they were going to be short. I also want to say I'm generally not emotional to the point where I think my wife Alyssa isn't quite sure if I have the capacity to cry. She often talks about that. But I will say that today, when I was reading back through my remarks, I suddenly realized this is a really emotional thing for me. And at one point, I was trying to figure out what was leaking out of my eyes. So I preface with that. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It really means a lot to me. And I'm going to try to get through this as well. Like many young adults who finish high school and move on to college, I found myself wondering what I was supposed to do with the rest of my life. The internal dialogue I had about that was constant and loud. I recall one morning standing in front of my bathroom mirror, feeling less than confident about the future when my mom walked by. And my mom and dad are in the back of the room here tonight. I called out to her and she stopped to talk to me. I remember asking her if I was to become a complete failure, could I continue to live in our house until I figured things out? My mom reassured me that I could and that everything would ultimately be okay. That settled things a bit for me. As I continued to go to school, I set out to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. I ultimately decided that I wanted to remain in the community and dedicate myself to a career of service. I explored a number of different career paths, ultimately deciding that law enforcement was for me, and that was a little over 33 years ago, and I can firmly say that I made the right decision. I've always considered my career in law enforcement to be my civic duty and a responsibility bigger than self to ensure everyone had a safe place to live, work, and raise their family. I was also determined to make sure that I policed in such a way that I would become the example for others and to earn the respect of my peers, the citizens we took an oath to protect. During my career, I've met many like-minded officers, and I'm proud to have served with them. As I have said many times before, I consider a career in law enforcement to be an honorable thing to do. But we have a collective responsibility to earn the trust and partnership of the communities we serve. We could not have effective law enforcement without that partnership, and we have a responsibility to work every day to ensure that that partnership stays strong. I'd like to begin this evening by thanking my mom and dad, who, as I said, are in the back of the room. I'm not sure if you know this, but when I stood in this room 9 years ago as I was being promoted to chief, I had committed my speech to memory and only realized later that I had somehow forgotten to thank you both. So please let me say thank you this evening. Thank you for supporting me and for allowing me to choose my path into adulthood. I'd also like to thank you for not suggesting that you would kick me out of the house if I didn't get things figured out in short order. I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors, both present and past, for your support and for trusting me to lead our department as we endeavored to provide professional law enforcement services to the citizens of Euclid Township. I've enjoyed our time working together very much, and I know that you all care deeply about the community that we all serve. I'd like to thank former Township Manager Doug Hanley for his mentorship during the time we worked together and for his continued friendship since his retirement. I have no doubt that Mr. Hanley was instrumental in setting the stage for my eventual promotion to the position of chief, and I will be forever grateful for the opportunity. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Evans for the many years of leadership and guidance she has brought to the Euclid Township Police Department. Lieutenant Evans and I have served together in law enforcement for decades, and I have always found her to be one of the best and surely an example of what a police officer should be. She has always served with compassion, honor, integrity, and a deep desire to do the very best for every person she came into contact with during the course of her career. Lieutenant Evans will be missed after her retirement, but her legacy with the Euclid Township Police Department will continue on through the success of our department in the future. I'd like to thank Jamie Young and Allie Doms for their support within the administrative offices of the police department. I've expressed to you many times how important you have been to the successful administration of the police department, acting as the glue between the administration and the police officers. Every day, you provide us with everything we need to be successful and provide the necessary services to our residents, and I couldn't be more grateful. I'd like to thank the township employees I've had the pleasure of working with over the years, particularly during my time as chief. I've long considered all of us to be doing the same job in that we are all striving to provide the best services to the citizens of Euclid Township. I appreciate how kind you've all been to me over the years. I value our friendship, and I wish you all nothing but the best. I'd like to thank my wife, Alyssa. She's sitting over here to the side of the room. We will be celebrating 30 years of marriage this year, and quite frankly, I don't know how she's put up with me all this time. Alyssa has been the rock of our family, constantly picking up the slack and providing unwavering support of my law enforcement career, all while taking responsibility for our family and a career of her own. I sincerely appreciate everything you have done for us, and I love you very much. I'd like to finish by addressing the officers who have come here tonight to share this moment with the lieutenant and I. Please know that I sincerely wish all of you the best as you continue your own careers in law enforcement. You have chosen a path that makes you unique in that you will also spend the majority of your adult life in the service to others. I have every confidence that you will continue to press forward in providing professional law enforcement services to the citizens of Euclid Township. Don't forget to help each other along the way, and always make it a point to recenter yourselves and hold each other accountable during your long careers. Each one of you has the ability to make a difference in the community, and I am confident that you will all do your best to further the legacy and reputation of the Euclid Township Police Department. I'm proud to have served with you. I'm certain that what we have accomplished together will be the highlight of my professional career. So thank you. And to everybody here tonight, thank you so much.
You have to come back up. We're not done with you yet. It's not over yet. You guys come on for success to come on, please.
Gee. See if you're gonna waste up.
So if no one's looking at me, looking at us.
Yeah.
Trying to
Speeches.
Right, yeah, that was right here. All right, right, fine. Okay, all right. Back. All right, so.
Big plan.
Just briefly. But then I'm blocking.
No, you're fine. Nobody needs to see this. It's okay. All right. Okay, everybody look at Katie. Everybody look at Katie. Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. I'll get it from you, like email to you.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, what do you want?
Yes. I got all my tissues. On the sentimental list.
Yeah.
Are they taking more pictures? Okay.
On the moon. The people here are like, well, it was maybe and I usually maybe did all of the motions until very the end, which had to start. See, so like I had to jump in. I don't I don't really care. There we go. Hey, how are you?
It's other meetings where those like.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
It's like or. Yes, too. Yeah. I sit there and look at the.
What's your name? Oh, okay.
Seconds.
Nice to meet you.
Never said. Never said. Definitely think about a minute.
Remember to go.
Careful to say.
Crying. I had to throw out my tissues. I was like, they were so.
Chief and Trimmers. He's still here too.
Oh, right.
Do an official ceremony to appoint
For February.
for February.
They never stay to talk about stop signs, which is what we're doing next. So it's pretty-
Where'd everybody go?
Thank you all again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Getting back to our business agenda for this evening, we'll move on to number 2.
Half as many people in the room and it's twice as noisy.
True. All right, moving along back to our business agenda. Slightly less emotional topic. Ordinance 2026-01, stop sign at Rice Boulevard and Wexford Road. Mr. Solicitor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have a number of exhibits for this ordinance tonight. Board Exhibit 1 is the proposed ordinance 2026-01. Board Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing that was sent to the Daily Local. Board Exhibit 3 is the proof of publication on January 2nd, 2026. Board Exhibit 4 is the certificate of posting, and Board Exhibit 5 is the Bowman letter, which is the traffic engineer dated November 10, 2025. So with that, what we have tonight is an ordinance on a stop sign to be placed on Rice Boulevard at its intersection with Wexford Road. And if the board is so inclined, they can make a motion in a second and open it up for comment.
I move for ordinance 2026-01, stop signs for motor vehicles on roadways within Euclid Township.
I'll second.
Is there any board questions or comments? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I will call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Moving along to number 3, permission to advertise volunteer emergency services tax rebate program ordinance.
This ordinance would create an earned income tax credit program for qualifying emergency services volunteers. The program is intended to recognize active volunteer service and support recruitment and retention of volunteer fire and emergency medical services personnel. If adopted, residents of Euclid Township volunteering with Euclid Ambulance and Lineville Fire Company would be eligible as long as they meet certain levels of the county's program. Eligible volunteers would receive up to a $500 per year credit on their earned income. Will largely rely on the existing county system to verify eligibility, which includes submission by Euclid Ambulance and Lineville Fire Company of notarized eligibility lists. And we're seeking authorization to advertise this ordinance.
All right, is there a motion to grant permission to advertise the volunteer emergency services tax rebate program ordinance?
I move for permission to advertise the volunteer emergency services tax rebate program.
Second.
Any board questions or comments?
No.
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Number 4, resolution number 2025-10, codification of the police policy manual. Chief?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 26-10 pertains to several changes that were just made to the Euclid Police Department policy manual. Occasionally, when changes are made, we would do a resolution to recodify the manual in its entirety. Just recently, we made just a minor change. A number of years ago, we changed the color of our uniforms, and I saw an area there where 2 spots didn't get the color changed correctly, and so I needed to update that. And then secondly, we made a change to the patrol section of our duty manual, specifically in the area of DUI enforcement, and the manual has been updated to reflect current equipment we're using, et cetera. So again, 26-10 would just be recodifying the manual in its entirety moving forward.
All right, is there a motion for resolution 2026-10 for the codification of the police policy manual?
I move to adopt the resolution 2025-10 codification of the police policy manual.
I'll second, although I think it's printed 2025, but it's.
Oh, I'm
2026,
sorry,
right?
2026.
Yeah, so I'll second.
Thank you.
Is there any board question or comment? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 5, agreement to deputize Susan Bernhard as tax collector for township taxes through 2029.
This agreement is between the elected tax collector, Paulette Lamaro, our township treasurer, Sue Bernhard, and the township, and it deputizes Sue to carry out the duties and responsibilities of the tax collector and allows her to use township staff as assistants and clerks as necessary.
Is there a motion?
I move to deputize Susan Bernhard as tax collector for township taxes through 2029.
Second.
Any board questions or comments? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 6, approval of an amendment to the agreement between Euclid Township and Hankin Group for sewer capacity reservation.
This would amend the previously approved agreement between Hankin, the township, and the municipal authority regarding the reservation of 50,000 gallons of capacity at the Downingtown Area Regional Treatment Plant, which is being purchased by Euclid Township from East Calhoun Township. This amendment simply allows us additional time until June 30th to submit our Act 537 plan to DEP, justifying the purchase.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the amendment to the agreement between Euclid Township and Hankin Group for sewer capacity reservation.
Second.
Any board questions or comments? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 7, authorization for the township manager to enter into a contract with Chris Dawson Architect and Krug Architects for a space study.
I'm seeking authorization to enter into a contract with Chris Dawson Architect in association with Krug Architects to complete a facilities master plan study for our municipal campus and other township facilities. Our goal is to evaluate the current conditions and our future space needs, develop options for renovations, additions, new buildings, and produce recommendation materials we can use in decision making. It includes the entire campus, the sewer department on Rutgers, the 2 historic structures, which are the schoolhouse and the Cadwalader House, and the maximum amount of the contract would be $67,500, which is budgeted.
Is there a motion?
I move to authorize township manager to enter into a contract with Chris Dawson Architect and Krug Architects for a space study.
Second.
Any board questions or comments?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Lost there.
Number 8, direction for township manager to cast a voting ballot on proposed amendments to the Pennsylvania Municipal Health Insurance Cooperative Agreement.
Our new healthcare cooperative, the Pennsylvania Municipal Health Insurance Cooperative, has proposed some amendments to the agreement which require voting by the cooperative membership. In order to pass, 2/3 need to adopt a measure. The changes relate to improper termination of the agreement. It defines what an improper termination is. It defines an improper termination fee and the factors which go into the improper termination, and defines member obligations should there be a termination without proper notice, withdrawal before the initial 3-year obligation, and what happens if you don't pay the required fees. Ultimately, it provides protections in the long term, preventing members from exiting prematurely or exiting and not paying the necessary fees. in looking at it, again, ultimately it gives us protections in the long term. And so kind of playing that long game, I'd recommend that we vote in the affirmative.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move to allow the township manager to cast a voting ballot on proposed amendments to the Pennsylvania Municipal Health Insurance Cooperative Agreement.
Second.
Okay. Is there any board questions or comments?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 9, Human Resources. A, Police Chief appointment and approval of Police Chief contract.
After the chief's announcement that he was retiring, the board conducted a fairly comprehensive search. And so after the results of that search, it's recommended that the board appoint Jim Fisher as our next police chief effective February 3rd, 2026, and adopt the subsequent employment agreement with him. Chief Fisher brings nearly 3 decades of law enforcement experience, including service with the Pennsylvania State Police, and most recently and currently is Chief of Police for Upper Pottsgrove Township, Montgomery County. His background includes executive command experience, policy and procedure development, budgeting and administration, major incident commands, and a strong focus on community policing, mentoring, and organizational leadership.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to appoint the new police chief and approval of the police chief contract.
Second.
Any board questions or comments? No. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. B, wastewater superintendent.
This one's easy. Under the revised township manager ordinance, I'm required to notify you of promotions. And so I'm pleased to share that Ronald Stanley, who's been with us for a little under a year, has been promoted to wastewater superintendent effective January 1st. He's been a great addition to the team, has supervisor experience from his prior employers, and has been doing a great job. There's no action required, just letting you know.
Great.
Thank you. All right, that concludes the action part of this evening's business agenda. I'll draw your attention to the announcements that are listed at the bottom of the page. All meetings will be held at the Township Building unless otherwise noted. On January 15th, the Environmental Advisory Council will be reorganizing and meeting at 7 p.m. On January 16th, the Industrial Development Authority will be reorganizing and meeting at 9:15 a.m. Township offices will be closed for Martin Luther King Day on January 19th. January 27th, the Human Relations Committee will be reorganizing and meeting at 6 p.m. On February 4th, the Zoning Task Force meeting will take place at 5 p.m. Also on the 4th, Planning Commission will be meeting at 7 p.m. February 5th, the Board of Supervisors workshop meeting will take place here at 12 p.m. And on February 9th, the Board of Supervisors will be meeting at 7 p.m. With that, we'll go to this evening's public comment period. When I read your name, please step up to the microphone so that we can all hear you. And first we have Louis Martell. Sorry about that. You can center that if you'd like. Yeah.
Say when. We good?
Looks great. Thank you.
Good evening. Again, my name, you need me to say my name and address again?
Yes, please.
Okay. Name's Louis Martell, Martel. I live at 815 Hawthorne Street in the Welshers neighborhood. Just bringing up an issue that some of you are well aware of, and welcome Superintendent Moody to this. So back in 2022, as you're well aware, Penny Packer has converted tennis courts to pickleball courts 70 feet off of our property line. We've been working diligently and trying to be great neighbors to work with them to come up with a solution. Certainly been talking at length with Mr. Cagle as well, and certain of you on the board. I know last year they were finally little fire to the feet to get them to do something to be able to open last season based on the recommendations from the sound engineer to meet certain standards. They did something, but it has not met those standards based on what the sound engineer had stated. So I know Mr. Cagle has been trying to talk to them further to see what else could be done. I know the folks at Pennypacker said that they would be investigating quiet paddles and quiet balls. Over the last 2.5 years, they've told us that 6 times. They also told Mr. Cagle that they would be calling us to, calling the neighbors to talk about ways that they could make this thing work. None of us have heard from them. So we're just asking for help. It's still awful in our homes, out in our backyards. It's no better than it was. We just can't see them playing, but we can hear them just as well as we could before. And I believe that was also basically spelled out from the sound engineers when they came back following them putting up those curtains, that it really had minimal impact, depending on where you were. So just asking for your help. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, Carl Fetcher. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Right on the money. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I live at 100 Corriedale Court, Carl Fetcher. We're behind the pickleball courts too. Ditto, ditto, ditto. I'm not gonna waste your time with that, but really appreciate what Bobby's been doing to help us get this resolved. It's terrible. So anything you do to help would be great. On a second note, Bobby was able to get us a no outlet sign on Corriedale Court, which was amazing. For some reason, Google Maps keeps sending people down our road instead of going out by Pennypacker Lane. So we've had just all these, we have grandkids now and kids across the street. So it was a hazard. Sent one email and a week later it was fixed. And honest to God, it's been amazing how few traffic comes. So thanks very much. And on a separate note, nobody likes taxes raised, but I got to thank you guys for finally getting the ambulance corps and fire company some money with the latest increase, which I agree with. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And thank you very much. Thank you much for your time. It's been
Thank
a
you.
fun evening, not something we didn't expect. So,
Along that street, other one being.
Thank you. Carolyn Matthews, Eagle House.
I wanted to just speak here today to let you know the farm was chosen to represent 4,800 dairy farmers in Pennsylvania at the PPA Farm Show. And I think it's a real honor that Euclid Township was represented there in that capacity. And I just wanted to share a few of the remarks that were shared there. Because I think it really is a testament to what the community has done to continue to support agriculture and farming in this increasing suburban area. Milky Way Farm was honored to represent 4,800 dairy farmers at the opening event of the PA Farm Show with the theme of Growing a Nation, celebrating 250 years of American agriculture. And if you haven't had a chance to go to the farm show, I really would encourage you to go. It's really fantastic. Dairy farming was already a large part of life here in Pennsylvania back in the 1770s when our founding fathers were growing a nation. In southeastern Pennsylvania, including Philadelphia, was a hub for early dairy production. Milky Way Farm in Chester Springs in Euclid Township, and again, this was presented there, was one of those early farmsteads and has been dairying here for 4 generations since 1902, but the land itself dates back to the 1770s and a William Penn land grant. Agriculture, as you know, runs really deep in our family. We're working very hard to care for the land, for the animals, and also very actively involved in the community. And what drives us every day is producing wholesome food from our milk, creating meaningful experiences through our pumpkin harvest season and our educational programs, as well as, of course, the ice cream at Chester Springs Creamery. But I really wanted to say we appreciated, obviously, the honor of being there, but also recognizing the connection that we have with the township. And we're just really proud to continue to be here in the community and for the community to be represented in that context of agriculture. So thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations. All right, that concludes this evening's public comment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?